What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? It is your review for Married to Medicine, the reunion, part 3, season. What season are we on? Season 7. So look, they didn't need this third episode. It really wasn't a whole lot there, y'all. We started off with resolving the argument between Simone and Dr. Heavenly. We saw last week that they got to arguing. They had to carry Dr. Heavenly out the room, and they were going at it. And Simone was like, "You're not gonna keep talking about my husband. You're not gonna keep disrespecting my husband, or I'm gonna start talking about Damon." And at the end of the day, they pulled Dr. Heavenly out the room, but then they let her come back in the room. And Simone was like, "Look, I do agree that Cecil should not have been tweeting you. Cecil shouldn't have said nothing to you. I agree. But at the same time, you did say some things that were only between me and you. Yes, I wanted Cecil to get a job, but I had that conversation with you. I didn't have that conversation with America. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all, and I said it then and I'm going to say it now. I could have sworn I heard Simone say the same thing last year about Cecil getting a job. I swear I thought I heard her say it. And guess what? So did Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly said, "Simone, you said it at the reunion." And I think she did. Now, again, that doesn't mean that, it was okay for, Heavenly to be tweeting it out. But I don't think that Dr. Heavenly told us something that we didn't already know, suspect, or feel. But okay. But they ended up making up. They hugging. Then they ended up landing on the floor, honey. And then Quad then jumped on them and started rodeo. It was a fun moment. The thing I love about this group is that they really do, well, most of them really do love each other. I do think it's a few people in there that really don't see it for each other. But overall, I think they really do love each other. And so they were able to sort of move past it. And then when they came back on the stage, they came back onto the stage and they were able to talk it out. And Andy was like, "Well, just a couple of hours ago you said you didn't think that you could ever forgive Heavenly," and was mad at Dr. Jackie at the thought of even trying. And she said, "Look, I was wrong. We taking baby steps. We not 100% there. We taking baby steps, but it is what it is." I can respect all of that. So that's where we are with them. Then there was a moment with Quad. Last week they brought up Dr. Greg, and Quad was in the back crying. And Quad said, it makes, she said, it's a bittersweet feeling. We did have some good times, and it does make me feel some kind of way to know that he still thinks fondly of me. And they said, because they used the words that he's still in love with with Quad. And so they asked Quad, "Are you still in love with him?" And Quad, I don't remember Quad saying yes or no, but I do remember her sort of giving one of them old sideways answers, talking about how they had some good times and all of that. Quad. But I don't think that there's a chance in hell that situation is ever going, that's a wrap. She done moved on. Then they got to talking about their relationships and how they're friends and they always seem to work it out, which I kind of already touched on. Then they got on this whole Ramadan situation, honey. They got to talking about, they were at Ramadan and they were talking about Quad and they were dragging Quad. Now let me say this. Mariah said we were at dinner for 4 hours and they showed a 10-minute snippet where we talked about Quad. She said that was not the majority of the conversation, and that's not what I wanted them to highlight. If I wanted them to highlight what Ramadan is and how we split it between our family and how we respect Ramadan, and for them to show that little snippet, it was really disrespectful, because it's almost as if that's what we did and that's not what we were doing. Here's the thing. You were talking about Quad. And here's the thing people don't understand. Sometimes the way you answer a question can change the whole moment. Mariah, all you had to say was, there was a moment where we got a little petty. But overall, the dinner was about healing and prayer and being reverent. We were fasting. But yeah, for about 10 minutes, we got petty. We did. And that is what they chose to show. And I wish they had shown the other parts of the meal where we were respecting Ramadan. That's all she had to say. But for you to keep saying, we didn't say it, we didn't say it, we didn't say it, then she want to play word games. Well, I never said anything about quad. Yeah, but you let your mama and you let late drag quad. Like, you know, it's not about, well, who said what. It's the fact that it happened. You were there, you encouraged it, you laughed about it, and it was during Ramadan. And you just should have worded it differently. Because when you start trying to deny that, now you're playing with my intelligence, because we all see the tape. And even Andy said the same thing. Andy said, but you did. Like, it's right there. We see it. They're not, the thing about these shows, they can edit it however they want to edit it. But if you said it, you said it. If you said it, you said it. Anyway, so then they talked about, they rehashed the whole thing with Contessa and Scott. We know how that whole story went down. They're in a much better place. Although, the one thing that came up that I thought was very interesting was they brought up the Navy thing again. And how she said that she quit the Navy for Scott and she doesn't feel like he appreciated that. What I find interesting is that they asked her, do you regret leaving the Navy? She never said yes. She never said no. She started talking about what aspirations she had when she was in the Navy and how she wanted to be an admiral and maybe even secretary of the Navy, and how she wanted to be a black female admiral, and how she respected them and looked up to them and things like that. So, but she never said, yes, I resent my husband for that or what have you. So I feel like she sidestepped it. Maybe they dealt with it in therapy and she didn't want to rehash it. Maybe they didn't talk about it at all. But I feel like y'all need to, because I feel like whatever that is, that still has not been resolved. Because she sort of got sad about that, and her answer told me, or I felt like in her answer, there was not a resolution. Once again, Scott reiterated the fact that he didn't realize he was turning the kids against her and he was sorry for it. And then they spoke on she's going to be finished with her program this summer. So it sounds like she's got one more semester, because they filmed this a few weeks ago. So a new semester would start now if she'll be done in the summer. Sounds like she's got one more semester. Wishing you all the luck. I'm sure you can make it happen, honey. Then they got on the whole strip club situation. Look, again, they went to the strip club. Heavenly got mad, and they kind of dwelled on the whole Heavenly daddy situation. Now, according to them, neither one of them saw the episode because they didn't want to see it. And Heavenly was like, "Look, call me insecure, call me what you want. I don't want to see no woman dancing up on my man. Like, I don't want to see it." And of course, the rest of the couples took a little bit of satisfaction in seeing that situation, because Heavenly, of course, acts like her marriage is so perfect, and nothing's wrong, nothing ever happens with their marriage. They talked about the couple's trip. Now, Mariah's thing was, I didn't have a problem with him going to the strip club. I didn't necessarily think it belonged on the couple's trip, which I can kind of see that. Then they talked about the couple's trip and how fun it was, and they asked Dr. Jackie about the pillow and did she get to use it and all that good stuff. The renovations of her house are still, the house ain't even got a roof on it right now, I think, so they had to postpone their trip to the south of France. But definitely, they're still in a really good place. Then they talked about the doctors and their bedside manners and what they do. They talked about Heavenly giving Dr. Contessa's father a new set of teeth. They talked about Simone and how she sort of walked the line between friend and doctor when it came to Toya. She did the same thing with Buffy as well. Buffy wasn't on the stage, so I guess they didn't bring that up, but she did it with both of them. And they asked Simone, she used to go to Dr. Jackie, but now she goes to Dr. Simone, and she asked them the differences. And again, I feel like Toya sort of sideswiped that question, because I don't feel like she said, well, Dr. Jackie, I remember the first time I saw her, honey, she came in there in them heels, and, her office make you pay up front. It's a little different over there. I feel like she sideswiped a little bit Why you change doctors? Why you going to Simone now instead of Dr. Jackie? What's the problem? I'm just saying. But again, it's sometimes it's just not that deep. Sometimes it could be simple as I called Dr. Jackie to make an appointment and she didn't have an appointment, so I called Simone and she could fit me in, and I just kept going. It could be something that simple. I don't think it's that deep. They asked Quad if she was looking for a husband, and of course, you know, Mariah was up over on the couch side-eyeing. And Quad said, you know, I don't really care about titles. Lies you tell. But it seems to be somebody that Dr. Contessa is trying to hook Quad up with. So we're going to see if that works out. They need to do a special and show the first date if she does actually go out with this man. Something I was going to say about the doctors. I don't remember, honey. I don't remember. Then they gave us a sneak peek into the new season of Married to Medicine LA. They're going to do the same thing this year that they did last year, where they're going to have the ladies from Atlanta go out to LA, hang out with the ladies to sort of introduce. I didn't get a start date, but I'm sure it's going to be sometime in the next couple of weeks. And they look like they have a good season working, honey. They look like they got some good things going on over there. They look like it's some marital problems and stuff, so we'll get there when we get there. And then they just sort of had their conclusion, you know. Andy was saying how he really likes this group because there is resolution, and he does feel like they leave better than they started, and they are able to really legitimately resolve situations. I think most of them, like I said, most of them really do love each other. Mariah says she's forgiving everybody. She don't have nothing but love in her heart, but you know, it's up to the other person to accept or what have you. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what that situation is, but baby, that's I think that's a dead horse too. But anyway, that was the season. It was what it was. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments, please.